Tomorrow may be full of unknowns, and unknowns may cause fear or anxiety. But look at where you are now and the long road you've taken to get here. You have everything you need today to overcome the obstacles of tomorrow. For the most part, the world around us will happen regardless of whether or not we're happy with it. Therefore, for our own well-being and peace of mind, it is better to learn acceptance and personal responsibility than to resist life and try to control the uncontrollable. An often overlooked source of day-to-day suffering is hidden within our expectations. Through expectation, we look to the future and invest our well-being in the outcome of some world event or in the behaviors of other people, hoping for them to go one way or another. When these expectations are not met, we suffer, and the further our expectations are from reality, the greater the suffering. While it is wise to plan for the future, it is worth taking the time to understand the extent to which your well-being hinges on your expectations of future events, especially if those events are out of your hands. Many people view death as a dark, miserable, and shadowing thing, an inevitable end to be feared and put out of mind. However, a reminder of death can add beauty to life. Knowing that what we do today may be the last time we do it is an excellent mental exercise to make sure we're mindful and appreciative of the present. What is right for someone else may not be right for you. Don't be so quick to accept advice or direction without questioning it. One of the core Stoic foundations for happiness is the realization that your perception of a problem, not the problem itself, is often the cause of suffering. If we accept responsibility for how we perceive life and work towards creating more favorable perceptions of things, our response to the things around us will change for the better. There is often a clear difference between the mind of a positive person and that of a negative person. Positive people make the effort to see opportunity in adversity, pathways in chaos, and potential in the future. They act as forces of change that leverage the resources they have at their disposal to influence the world around them. To the outside world, they seem to be creatures of intent that act upon the world. When things go wrong, they take ownership of their situation, even if a bad situation isn't necessarily their fault. And they look to find ways to improve, to go from 0 to 1, and then from 1 to 2. In contrast, the negative person seems to have trained themselves to find reasons why they can't do something. Often this behavior is entirely unconscious. They see obstacles in adversity, excuses in chaos, and fear in the future. To the outside world, they seem to be surrounded by forces that impose themselves upon them. When things go wrong, they look around them to find things to blame, especially if a bad situation isn't their fault. They find stories to tell themselves that validate their lack of progress, well-being, and fulfillment. The path to personal growth, the hard trek up that mountain, becomes much easier when you accept that you are not perfect, that you have rough edges, poorly formed beliefs, biases, and misconceptions. Don't marry yourself too tightly to what you believe to be true about the world, about yourself, and about others. Rigidity is the enemy of progress. Be open to change and gracefully accept when you are wrong. For the Stoics, their personal path to happiness is grounded in a few core principles. 1. The ability to view ourselves, the world, and its people objectively, and accept their nature as it is. 2. The discipline to prevent ourselves from being controlled by the desire for pleasure or the fear of pain and suffering. 3. Making the distinction between what is within our power to influence and what is not, and then using this information to decide what can be acted upon and to accept what can't. The concept of control is core to practical Stoic philosophy. When understood, it allows us to clearly see the areas of our life that we are able to influence and those which are outside the reach of our control. This, by extension, gives us the ability to stop wasting our time and energy on what we can't control and learn to accept it, and at the same time helps us focus on the areas of our life we can control. One of the greatest tools for a happy life is personal responsibility. Ownership over the things within our control, our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, opens up paths to personal development that are otherwise closed when we point fingers and blame.